Everyone, it's nice to see you again. So now I'm back with my colleague, Steve McKay. Steve, do you want to stand up so people can see you? Steve is a professor in the sociology department at UC Santa Cruz. And we are partnering with Amanda Gamban, who's at United Way of Santa Cruz County. And our project, the Youth Action Network and UCSC link, is part of a broader project called Youth C2. And this is our entire sort of like the I don't know, leadership team, if I can use that word, for Youth C2. And this program is funded through the William T. Grant Institutional Challenge Grant. What we are doing together is that the United Way is a convener in our county, and they oversee and bring together a whole bunch of different after-school programs and out-of-school programs. And in our county, we have a lot of programs that are youth serving, but they are not about youth leadership development. So we have very few, like advisory boards that are with youth or anything like that. And so we're kind of unique in our region in that we're pretty far behind, I would say, compared to the areas around us, even compared to the Central Valley. And so they have been at United Way in the process of changing this from the Youth Violence Prevention Task Force into the Youth Action Network. And through that process, what they did is they created a steering committee with 12 youth from across our county that represents 6 of the organizations that fall under this larger umbrella. And they are interested in partnering to assess these practices to see if we can really create this institutional and cultural change across our county so that youth are seen as leaders and youth voice is something that is seen as essential in terms of any kind of policies and practices that affect youth in our county. What we are bringing to the partnership is this SSWC YPAR model. So SSWC, this stands for Community Initiated Student Engaged Research. And this is Steve's sort of brainchild, I'll say. And Steve has been doing this SSWC work for 6 to 8 years, 8 years now, and been partnering with different groups in our community to figure out what kinds of research could be done at organizations that just don't necessarily have the capacity to do that, and has done some really phenomenal work. And so this is sort of the next SSWC phase of that. And to that, we're adding youth participatory action research. So this year, what's happening is that my class and Steve's class have partnered. This year is our pilot year, and we're figuring out what kind of issue we would like to focus on. And so they have been leading these 12 youth through a photo voice project to figure out what it is that they would like to focus on. And I should have written down the prompt. What are the barriers to the community's hopes and dreams? Thank you. So the youth have finished their photo voice sessions. They've done amazing work, these 3, in terms of facilitating that. And now the youth are at the phase where they are going to start analyzing their data. And now things are switching over to Steve's class, and Steve is teaching a research methods course. So this is good. And they'll also be doing some social biography. Next year, my class again will partner with Steve's class so that we can focus on what it is that the young people want to focus on in terms of the research and what they want to move forward in their county. And then the next year, we'll have 2 other faculty members join us, Saskia Casanova and Jessica Taft. And so it's an emergent model, and this is what we're working on. I was asked to say why I came back. I do see UC Links very much as a supportive community. When I came here, maybe like, 12 years ago, and I was like the one doing YPAR, you all were very supportive, and I appreciated that. And I also think we could be a little bit more of an organizing space, and I would like us to move forward some conversations in that way, in lots of different ways. But one of the things we're working on with the grant is having community engaged scholarship recognized as scholarship in our institutions, and having different dissemination products also count, because we need to make it so that that young scholars can do this work and have it recognized as well. And with that, I'm sorry for going over on my time. I'll pass it back.
Okay, so I'm brand new, proud representative of the CSU system, where community engaged scholarship is already valued. And one of the reasons I'm there. And you know you're in a good space when you run into so many people whose work you love or who you've met before. Patricia, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Good morning. My name is Patricia Reguerin. I'm the executive director of Escuela Popular, and Escuela Popular is a community-based grassroots school in East San Jose that started in 1986. And currently we operate as a charter school for immigrant families and English learners. We provide services as early as 6 months to adults. And we're open from 7:30 in the morning to 10:30 at night.
So we're here in part as a representative of the San Jose Y Plan Hub. So building on Deb McCoy's amazing work, Deb introduced me to Patricia and Escuela Popular to think about how can we create opportunities for youth to give meaningful input into redesigning their cities. I'm just going to share a little video that Carla put together of the project. And I really want to stress, this is the work of Patricia, Ms. Haynes, who the students are working with. My role is to see how do we institutionalize support for some of these. So yeah, our current project, if you've seen in the news anything about San Jose lately, there have been a huge number of pedestrian accidents. It's a major problem going on. And Escuela Popular, well, you can describe, what is White Road like?
It's a speedway. White Road is a speedway. There's very few traffic lights in front of schools. And so it's a long stretch of road that is very, very dangerous to pedestrians, especially children and families walking to school.
So this is the 8th grade class working with Ms. Haynes. She's with them now. And they're doing a site visit, walking with the Department of Transportation clients around to think about what improvements could be made. Okay, so yeah, I just want to say I'm so excited to be here. Patricia and I came together, but also separately because there's so much that Escuela Popular is doing that is in the spirit of this. Last thing I just want to say that the reason I'm here is I'm also really excited to look for opportunities to build my other work around digital media and youth civic engagement. I teach a class on social media and social issues, and I'm hoping to find ways to bring our students from that class to different settings. Okay.
I just want to reiterate is that Y Plan has provided our students with a real opportunity to provide feedback, and for us adults to be able to hear it and be really inspired by their thoughts and recommendations.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Erin Ellison. I am from California State University, Sacramento. I come here with a crew of undergraduate and graduate students over there. Yeah. I would like to say, a second generation UC linker. As a graduate student, I was trained by Regina Langhout and worked on 2 YPAR projects under her supervision, including a UC Links funded project. So this is not my first UC Links conference, but it's my first UC Links conference as a faculty member. So that's exciting. So I am just starting up a new project working with youth at Elder Creek Elementary School in Sacramento. And the project really comes from a number of different community partners who are trying to develop a pedestrian and bicycle pathway and also restore Morrison Creek in South Sacramento. South Sacramento, especially in this area, the Avondale and Glen Elder neighborhoods, tends to be lower income. And as you all know, California is in a housing crisis. And so the partners from the neighborhood are like, well, we want to do something about this creek, but we want to make sure that the development remains in the hands of the neighborhood, of community members, and community members have a lot of say over what happens to it. So here's kind of a picture of what the creek looks like. Currently, it's blocked off. It's been channelized. There's tons of illegal dumping that happens there. From time to time, there are unhoused encampments. This picture was actually taken when at the start of the pandemic, me and some partners went out to go check on our unhoused neighbors who were living on the creek So a lot of stuff going on in the neighborhood. And when this pedestrian and bike pathway finally gets underway, it will connect the elementary school. It's at the back of the elementary school. There's like playing fields here, to the Sim Center, which is the community center where the neighborhood association meets. There's a farmer's market that's predominantly run by immigrant and refugee families. And then a little bit further down, there's a middle school, and a little bit further down from that is a high school. There's also a very, very busy highway that if there was a pathway underneath the highway, it would be a lot safer. So there's a lot of interest in investing in this creek for community needs. Okay, so I've sort of talked a little bit about the context. We have a ton of partners that are interested in this project, falling under the Morrison Creek Coordinating Committee, including the Water Justice Organization, Neighborhood Organization, a land trust, which was my first partner in the project. And the center runs the after-school program at Elder Creek. And we were able to sort of get this connection in the middle of the pandemic because Tommy and Erin are two teachers trained at Sac State and are also part of the Morrison Creek Coordinating Committee. So they really sort of facilitated our entry into Elder Creek Elementary and the after-school program. So we are going to sort of setting up shop there. The end of this semester, we're finally going to be building a presence, and we will be focusing on 4th to 6th graders, primarily because of our connections with the 4th and 6th grade teachers. And next year, we will run our pilot year, which will be focusing on 4th graders, a smaller number of 4th graders, just to kind of refine our curriculum and make sure we are hitting the right tone with 4th graders and our assessments. So we'll be doing participatory action research using photo voice, and we're super excited to get started with that all. So thank you very much.
Okay, so this year, as some of you probably know, I passed the baton for working closely with the South Franklin Community Center to Liz. My job at the university switched, and I wasn't able to do both things in the same way that I have done them before. So I've been for the last year working at my university's writing center as the multilingual writing coordinator. So we are working on starting a new program that is very, very much in its pre-stages, which is part of why I don't have much info to give you, but I'm really excited about it. So our writing center for the last several years has had a very loose partnership with a middle school called Dixon Middle School that's located in the same neighborhood as the South Franklin Community Center and serves the same general population. So we take our undergraduate writing tutors down once a year for 2 class periods, and they work with Dixon Middle School's Latinos in Action class and do a writing workshop where they talk about applications for scholarships and college applications and other things, and workshop with them a personal narrative. So we decided, after we had done this program for a while, but it's very minimal, it's like we go once a year, we decided we wanted to make this program more sustainable. And we wanted a more serious partnership with Dixon Middle School and with other secondary schools in the South Franklin neighborhood, which, as some of you may know from other times that I've talked to you, it's Provo's lowest income and most underserved neighborhood. So we've been working on getting a grant to open a writing center at Provo High School, which is also located in this area, and a writing center at Dixon Middle School. So what we will do is, hopefully, we have a couple undergraduates who have been designated to spearhead this program, and they are currently working with other faculty members in our English department on this grant. They will go to the middle school and the high school, and hopefully we'll be able eventually to expand the program to other schools and maybe even some elementary schools. and set up a writing center where they'll work with students at the schools to train peer writing consultants, so that our undergrads will work with students at the schools who will work with other students at the schools to facilitate writing support. So our undergrad tutors will work to train peer tutors at the high school and junior high, who will then work with each other to facilitate writing. So we're really excited about this program. We're excited to be able to spend more time directly in the community, working with students at these schools and helping facilitate not only their ability to express themselves in writing and their ability to communicate in writing, but also their collaborations with each other. And we hope that we can help be a part of a growing community in this way. So thanks much. It's nice to be able to talk with you and share this new program with you.
Hi, it's really good to see you and being here, even if virtual mode. And I'm really excited and I'm feeling a little bit emotional. So hi everyone. I'm going to share my screen because I prepared some really easy slide. And here we are. Today I will tell you about La mia scuola è differente, that is an after-school program that is running here in Padova. So Padova is a really small city close to Venice in Italy, as you know, and as educational processes are always culturally situated, the environment is an integral part of the life system, and this means that people, relationship, and spaces in which they coexist are strongly connected. For this reason, I think it's important considering the background of the project. So the Stanga district is very, very peculiar. It has been created in the 1920s as the city's first industrial area, which means that it was not intended for people to live in, but for manufacturing activities. In 50s and 60s, the neighborhood saw further development. The industrial area was enlarged, the motorway was completed. In the 90s, Italy experienced its first major waves of migration, and the Stanga became the district where migrants first settled, because it was the only area of the city where they would be accepted as renters. The neighborhood thus became a sort of ghetto, with an alley street as the symbol of widespread social unease. Due to the great cheapness of the housing solution, an alley street began to host an ever-increasing number of foreigners, and in a few years, almost all the natives left the area. Moreover, criminal activities proliferated, mainly linked to drug trafficking and prostitution, generating tension between different criminal groups. Intervention by law enforcement failed in changing the situation, and over the time, the municipality attended at social recovery. Nowadays, the neighborhood is still affected by cultural segregation, a lack of integration with the Italian residents, violence, drug traffic, and social stigma. And 14% of the total migrant of families living in Padova are allocated in this area. In this context, the Istituto Comprensivo we are collaborating with, this district finds its home, and it is made by 4 primary schools and 3 middle schools. There, over the 80% of students have a migrant background. So, La Mia Scuola Differente project began in 2019, thanks to the provisions from the Child Educational Poverty Fund, and it is aimed at individual and collective transformation. Through this project, schools like the San Camillo district have acted as community focal points, fostering action that respond to the fundamental needs of the neighborhood, improving interpersonal, intercultural relationship, the developing community networks with private and public local organizations, so NGOs, volunteer association, municipal districts, and of course also the university. So by using the school as a socially inclusive community hub and a transformative space during afternoons, the project reinforced the school's role as a barrier to social exclusion in the neighborhood, while helping parents to keep their children off the street in a safe, quality environment during the adults' working hours. Several actions are part of the project. The fundamental one here concerns the after-school program. It engages children in various creative, innovative activities that foster the ability to develop linguistic, emotional, scientific, and technological skills. The educational initiatives are carefully designed to promote quality experience, embodied learning, and special attention is paid to family engagement. Our Department of Education is now called upon to engage undergraduates to foster children language sciences and technology learning, and to develop an inclusive and participatory environment. It's quite frustrating because of the pandemic. We are still in the early stages of our involvement in this project, and the working group comprises 3 undergraduates, a researcher, who I am, and I'm coordinating them and mentor them, and a scientific supervisor. So right now, the undergraduates are just entered the field, and they are trying to relate and to connect with children and volunteers. And we are planning that they will be effectively active in more or less 1 month and a half. So they are taking, of course, ethnographic notes and diaries, and they are trying to figure out on what focus to propose a project to the children. So that's it, and thank you for your kind attention.